What should my marketing budget be? It's a question that every business owner asks themselves at the beginning of their business life and hopefully at least every year after that. All too often though, it's a question that is also answered very simply as something like 10% of your projected turnover figure. And that just doesn't work for my business, and I'm pretty sure it probably doesn't work for yours either. So in this video, I'm just going to take you through a little process that should give you a range that your budget could and should fall into. It'll be a far more satisfactory figure. It's not going to be perfect, but it takes into account more of your information, so it's more tailored to your situation. Now we're going to need some information to be able to go through that process. So first off, you're going to need your projected turnover for this year's period. Now in this case, we're going to take an example figure of £500,000. Next up, you're going to need your gross profit margin as a percentage of that turnover figure. So this gross profit margin is literally just what's left over from the turnover after you take away only the cost of buying in the products that you sell. So forget about salaries or utilities or anything like that. We're just going to end up with a percentage that's left over after you take away just the costs of your products and services. In this case, what we're going to use is a figure of 45%, fairly modest. The third and last piece of information that you're going to need is the rent that you're expecting to pay out over that same yearly period. In this case, we're going to use £30,000 just to illustrate the process to you. Now we're going to use all those bits of information, and the first step is to get the figures for 12% and 15% of your projected turnover. So 12 and 15% of the £500,000 that we're using in this case is £60,000 and £75,000 respectively. Yours will obviously be different. And next we're going to, in step 2, take something a little bit more complicated, which is using the profit margin figure that you've come up with and turning that into a markup figure. So markup is expressed as a percentage, it's your gross profit number expressed as a percentage of the cost of that profit. So in this case, it's the 45% of 500,000, which is 225,000 out of what's left. So 275,000 in this case. 225,000 out of 275,000 gives us a figure of 82%. And that is our markup figure, which we're going to use in step 3, which luckily is the penultimate step. And all you're finding out is that percentage figure, that markup figure of the first two numbers. So in this case, you're finding out 82% of £60,000 and £75,000, which comes out this time as 49,200 to 61,500. So it's nearly the end of the range, the marketing budget that we're going to end up with. All you have to do to come up with your actual marketing budget range then is to take away the rent figure that you came up with at the beginning from both of those figures. So we end up, in this case, for a business with £500,000 projected turnover and 45% gross profit margin with rent of £30,000, we end up with a marketing budget range of £19,200 to £31,500. Pretty simple when you actually do it. Probably sounds like a lot of numbers coming at you, but you'll just have to use your own numbers in that, and it is relatively simple. If you've struggled with any of that, then please let me know in the comments and I'll try and clarify any points that you're struggling with. And next week what I'm going to do is try and take you through how to allocate that marketing budget figure. So what percentages to put in what direction, to online marketing or magazines stuff, and we'll try and clarify some of that for you. In the meantime, I'd appreciate any comments or questions that I can use in later videos. And if you liked it and you know anyone who might find this information useful, then please share it with them. Until next week, thanks for watching.